What's going on, everybody? Matt here, and today we're going to go over the plugin called Xpand 2. Xpand 2 comes natively with your copy of Pro Tools. I like Xpand 2 because not only is it free, it has over 2,000 sounds that you can choose from. There is a downside to having that many options. You don't really know where to begin. So the purpose of this video is to give you around 20 sounds, one from each category that I think is really good. I have a list of around 100 that I pulled from the 2,000 plus that I also think are really good that you can find on my Facebook music page, which I will link below in the description. So we have a lot to go over, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first patch that I want to talk about is the soft pads and the blend solo violin to piccolo. It's kind of a mouthful of a title, but basically what it is the sound is a solo violin, but when you hold out that note, it goes to a piccolo sound. So let me give you an example here. I really like that sound. It's very inspirational. I think it would be really good to put in a song, that's kind of like what I just played, something very orchestral that has a lot of layers. Now we're up on the bright pads, and this is actually the patch that you will see when you start up Xpand, and this is Beneath the Waves. This one has a massive stereo panning sound. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. It's one of the better sounds that comes bundled with the program. You can hear the panning left to right. Let me show you here. It's really cool. I like that one a lot. I can use that in pretty much everything. Up next, we have the action pads category, and this one is the Evolution one. This one is really cool. It has a arpeggio type sound going on, and this one sounds good by itself. So if I play like a note, it's kind of like an ominous background thing going on. But the cool thing about this one is if you take the cutoff, let me show you here, and you lower it, you kind of get this this kind of cool sub mix sound. If you actually lower the octave down, so I'm going to lower it 2 octaves, and you do that same thing, kind of get this almost sounds kind of like an animal or something. So it'd be really cool for sound design. So if we put the delay up, and let's start from the cutoff open. Kind of sounds like something you'd hear in Doom. I like that sound a lot. It's pretty cool. But of course, if you bring the octaves back up and you play something higher, all right, now we have the pad layers, and this is the last patch called Cave Drips. Let me actually show you what I'm talking about when you have like a category and how much stuff's in it. So this is one section, and this is all the patches in it. So you can see what I'm saying by, you open this up, you look at that, and you're like, I don't know where to begin, and then you just kind of give up and you just stop. So what we're going to do is just, again, go to Cave Drips, and it's the last one here. And you're going to see how this one sounds. This one's pretty cool. It's got a really nice sample to it. Very pristine and good quality. It's very quiet, but it's very dynamic. So if I hit quiet, it's creepy. I like this one a lot. It sounds like it'd be in the band Spungle. If you've never heard of Xpand, you should check them out. They're very cool. It has a lot of dynamics at the bottom too, so you can see over here. If you have a high output, you can clip pretty easily. Fortunately for me, it's pretty low, so it's not really doing that. All right, now we're up on the percussive section, and this is Plucked Wood. This one's really cool as well. I actually like using this with an Harp. So if we go to, let's go to up and down with 2 octaves. Let's turn that on. Actually, let me show you guys what it sounds like just by itself. It sounds like this. So it has a pan back and forth, and then it has this phaser mix that you can add in there. Let me actually lower this guy down a little bit. There we go, so it doesn't clip when I hit this. So, all right, now we're going to hear it with the Harp. And let's try that cutoff again. There you go. Cutoffs and ARPs are like the best thing. Let's turn on the resonance. So the resonance will take a specific frequency and it will accentuate it very high. Kind of like when you take a Q on or the bandwidth Q on mix and you put it on, or an EQ on the mix and you turn it on all the way, and it really accentuates that pitch. I know it's going to be really loud, so let me turn this down. All right, let's try this. Hold on, let's try it. Let's turn it down just a little bit more. You know, something like that sounds pretty cool. I like that a lot. Let's go to the next one. So one thing that Xpand does really well is the polysynth section. You'll see again, it has a decent amount of ones you can pick. There were about 10 that I wanted to show you guys, but if I wanted to show you guys every patch that I thought was good in Xpand, this video would be like 4 hours long. That's why I'm doing about 1 per section here. But this one's called Simply Nice, and this one reminds me a lot of the song Strobe by Deadmau5. So let's go ahead and turn that ARP off, and I can actually play a little bit of that in the beginning so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and do this. Probably help if I turned it up a little bit. Let's leave it about here. All right, try that one more time. I like it a lot. So if you play it up an octave as well, I think that's where it's actually played in the song. So let's try that. I like that one a lot. That's a very good sample. And another section that Xpand does really well is the Synth Brass. Generally, like the synth-oriented stuff is pretty good, like the soft synths, the polysynths, and the Synth Brass. That's a tongue twister there, guys. I want to show you the soft analog brass. This one's pretty cool. I don't remember if it had a high output, so I'm just going to start at low here. It's not too bad. All right, let's see where this is at. Turn it up just a hair. Some of these have, a lot of these, have different outputs, so it's hard to know where you're going to set everything. All right, let's run with that. It's kind of has an 80s type vibe to it. I like this one a lot. Kind of sounds like the Terminator, actually. So if you play I like that one a lot. Terminator 2 specifically is my favorite movie of all time. Let's go to the next one. Soft leads. This is a vintage synth lead. I love 70s style, like prog rock synth sounds, and I think this one does a pretty good job. So I know for a fact that the synth leads are super loud, so I'm going to turn it way down. That should be good. So let's go and see what this one sounds. We're actually going to take the pitch bend range and do an octave. So when you hit a note and you go down, I love doing stuff like that. So you're like, kind of has like a house kind of EDM thing going on. Awesome sound. I really like this one a lot. I wonder how this sounds with the cutoff. Probably sounds pretty cool. It kind of gets more sharp, like a triangle, and frequency. That actually sounds really cool when you put the cutoff off. What about down? Smooths out more like a sine lead. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I love synth leads. Next up, we have the hard leads. The hard leads really, I don't really like them a lot, to be honest, in the Xpand program. I really don't like most of the leads in both hard and the soft leads, but this one's pretty cool. It's called AC/DC tapping. It kind of sounds like a guitar, hence the AC/DC name. I know this one's going to be loud too, so let's give this one a quick test here. That should be good. That was really cool. Kind of sounds like something you'd hear in like the Kevin Moore days of Dream Theater. Kevin Moore's one of my favorite keyboard players, and he does those very cool kind of wah sounding synth leads, like stuff like that. All right, next up we have the ambient and effects category. This one's called Water Drops Falling. It's similar to one that we heard before, but it's just a little bit different. It's not as chaotic as the other one that we heard earlier. So this one sounds like this. I like this one a lot because you can actually change the delay in the mix. So we can go like this. Check this out. So it's more calm, and if you turn the delay up, for example, it will kind of sound like this. You can hear it more in the background as it fades out. I like turning the chorus up and then turning the delay down. It sounds like this. Has a softer sound to it. Again, more for sound design. Those are the kind of things that you would, record, reverse it, print out reverb, reverse that reverb, things like that. All right, up next we have the acoustic piano, and this is the natural grand piano. This is one of the few sounds in Xpand, one of the few categories in Xpand. Again, that's not very good, but this is a pretty decent piano. As long as it's not the main thing in your song, if it's like a supporting instrument, I think this one will get the job done. So let's go ahead and see what this sounds like. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and go to the next category. All right, electric pianos. This is modeled after a CP80, which I believe is a Yamaha electric piano. This one actually sounds pretty good. I noticed on the low octaves, it kind of sounds like a guitar, which is kind of cool in my opinion. It's pretty cool. Organs. This is the Dirty 70. That one's awesome. I really like this one a lot. I love the organ. One of my favorite sounds, actually. I also love Deep Purple, so that kind of helps. Clavinet is up next, and this is the Fat Clavinet. This one's pretty cool. Just a nice peaceful sound. That can work in a lot of things as well. Now we're going with the strings. So surprisingly, I'm not actually going to show you like a ensemble or violin or something like that. I really like the harp sound in Xpand, but again, I'm kind of biased because I love harp sounds in general. So let's go ahead and listen to this one here. One of the most peaceful sounds. It's so awesome. I love that a lot. All right, the vocals, and this is the female choir. One thing to note about Xpand is it does have multi-timbral. You can do like multi-timbral elements. So this one, for example, sounds okay by itself. But I feel like it sounds the best if you have a stacked multi-timbral, the female vocals, the male vocals, and then you can, change the adjustment and have one be up an octave and then one's below that octave. So you can play one note and have one be up and then one be below that. It's actually pretty cool. I may do a video with some things like that to make your patches in Xpand sound better. But for this one, it's just to show you each patch and what that has to offer. So again, this one's not too bad, but it sounds really... well, decently better when you have multiple instances of it stacked up. Up next, we have the brass woodwind soprano sax. This one's pretty good as well. Sounds nice with some reverb. Now we're at one of my favorite sections, the mallets. I love like mallets and the bells. Those sections are really cool to me. This one is the octave kalimba. This one's cool because you play one note and it just plays an octave of that. And it's panned in stereo, which is awesome. So reminds me of an old Crash Bandicoot game. That would probably sound pretty cool with the filter called just like any of the patterns here. Now it's really Crash Bandicoot. That sounds awesome. I like that one. And not just because it sounds like Crash Bandicoot. Well, maybe a little bit. All right, up next we have the bells, and this is a bright bells patch. Sounds really good for an ostinato pattern. Coincidentally, the tubular bells theme is an ostinato pattern, and I love playing it over a bell sound. So up next we have the guitars, and this is the 12-string acoustic. This one's actually pretty nice. I like this one a lot. Oh, and one thing too, if you turn the frets amount down and frets level, note off, you turn that off, and you let go of the, you won't get that annoying like trying to sound realistic when you take your fret off of the, or pardon me, you take your hand off of a fretboard, because if you keep it on, you'll see what I'm talking about here. Hear that? That like weird sound? I don't like that. It sounds kind of strange, so I just keep it turned off. All right, next up we have the Koto in the ethnic subcategory. This one is another one I like a lot for an ARP. So let's go ahead and go to up and down, just one octave, and see what that one gets. All right, this is the hits section. This is the brass and horns, kind of almost like a multi-timbral section where it has the brass and the horns doing an octave hit above that. This one's going to be kind of loud, so let me turn it down. All right, so if we go, I love that sound. This one, in my opinion, sounds best lower, so we'll go. That's for all you like Children of Bodom fans. We're at another category that Xpand does really well, and this is the synth basses. Again, like I said before, the general synth representation of an instrument like a synth bass, a synth guitar, polysynths, things like that. They tend to sound pretty good in this. This is the basic thump, basic thump bass patch. This is another one that sounds really good with a cutoff. So let's turn this to 8, turn that on, and I'll mess with the cutoff. You'll see what I'm saying. That's straight out of like John Carpenter. Oh yeah. That's a really good sound. I like that one a lot. I could see myself using that in a lot of songs. And again, like, you know, the John Carpenter 80s style synth writing is something that I really like and am inspired by. So that patch is really, really cool. All right, we're at the basses, and this is the slap bass. And this patch had the same issue that the other guitar patch did. I already turned it down, where you have the note where when you hit the note and you let go of the note, it will have that weird string sound that's supposed to represent a realistic sounding guitar, but in my opinion, it just sounds like crap. So if we play this slap bass, I think it sounds pretty cool, actually. That low E sounds really cool. All right, I have one more category that I want to show you guys. I'm going to skip the drums, percussions, and loop, and we're just going to go to the basic ones. So these ones are cool because they give you like a bare bones sound. So if you want to go to like a sine wave, which is the basis of a bass wave, you can have something underneath like supporting a kick drum if you wanted to have it be the same pitch, or if you wanted to go under a bass or just a guitar, something like that. So if you hit like a D note, just a sine wave. So imagine lining it up with like a kick or something like that. You can lower the octave, but this sounds really good for like a classic synth sound. So if we add body to this one, detune, turning it down just a hair, you can get, you know, classic Tangerine Dreams type things. So let's actually go to 16. So things like that. Sounds pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, that is everything. I know this video is like super long, but I did have a lot to go over for you. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below. I will leave more contact information for you guys where you can find me on Facebook as well as Instagram. I hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.